So a tuto, grammar tuto today on negation. La négation is what we're going to focus on. So using negatives. So we're going to go right back to basics. And rather than giving you an explanation, we're going to go through some exercises and examples together, because sometimes that's just as good, isn't it, as an explanation, because you can see it actually being used. So let's look at the first one. So est-ce que Paul est là? Obviously a question. Is Paul there? Non, il n'est pas là, il est sorti. No, he's not there, he's not here. Là can mean there or here. So he's not here, he's gone out. Now, just as a reminder then, so how does negation work in French? Well, you always have a ne. And then you have a second negating word. And in this case, it's pas, because this means not. But that's not the only kind of negation that you can have. You can have never, you have no one, you can have nothing. But at the moment, we're just looking at not. And the way that it's good to remember how negation works is that it's like a sandwich, isn't it, that goes around the verb. So the verb here is être, et, and then the ne and pas are going around there. And of course, here we've got an apostrophe because the est, because of the e, the vowel, is making us have an apostrophe. Now, you probably already know this, that when you speak French, most of the time, in fact, you could probably say all the time, you don't hear the ne. People just don't bother saying it, they just drop it. So that means that the second part of negation is really important to put in, because if you don't put the second part of negation in, you don't have a negation. So you just by saying ne, if you drop the second part, no one will realize you're saying something in a negative sense. So we can say non, il est pas là, non, il est pas là. So we could just drop the ne altogether. So for all the rest of these exercises, when I say them, I'm going to think about saying them without the ne, because that's how they're said. But you know that if you were writing them, that you would have the ne and the pas, because they are the two parts of the sandwich. So you need to know that they're part of the same grammar point, but also to know that when you're speaking, you just drop that ne. So that makes the pas important. Je suis bien au 0, 01, 40, 30, 50, 50. So am I at the right number? Non, vous n'êtes pas au bon numéro. C'est une erreur. So vous êtes pas. Vous êtes pas. I'm not going to write this because this is a PDF, so I can't write on here. You don't need me to write that for you. Vous êtes pas. Vous êtes pas. So that would be être, wouldn't it, in here? Vous êtes, you are, and then the pas, au bon numéro, you're not in the right number. Notice that if we want to say the right number, it's bon numéro, it's not vrai, it's bon. Ce pull est en laine. Is this jumper made of wool? Non, il n'est pas fait, il n'est pas en laine. Non, il n'est pas en laine. Il est pas, or il n'est pas, if you want to pronounce it. Il est en something else. So, il n'est pas en laine. Vous êtes en colère, Monsieur Valois? Are you angry, Mr. Valois? Non, je suis pas en colère. Non, je suis pas en colère. And notice it's je suis pas. When we write it down, it's je ne suis pas. But that would be when you were trying to really spell out to someone that you weren't something. But in normal everyday exchange, it's je suis pas. So you just run the whole thing together. But can you hear the importance of the pas in there? Because if we don't have the pas, we don't have a negative, yeah? So, je suis pas en colère, je suis content. Nous sommes en retard, maman. Are we late, mum? Non, nous ne sommes pas en retard. Non, nous sommes pas en retard. So I'm just reusing the question in the answer. Okay. Right, now, there's some other things that we can think about when we're thinking about negatives as well, and questions and their responses. So let's have a look at these examples here. So first one, est-ce que vous êtes de Chicago? Oui, je suis de Chicago. So are you from Chicago? Yes, I'm from Chicago. All right, that's just an affirmative. Now, here we've got to make our own question up for this answer. Now, why would we be seeing si? It's not a we. So we is yes, isn't it? But si means yes as well. But when is it a yes? There's only a specific circumstance when we use si. And that is when the question is asked as a negative. So if the question is asked as a negative and we want to counteract that negative, then we use si. So that I think the question that we would hear is, I don't know, Louise, elle n'est pas là? Louise, elle n'est pas là? Louise isn't here? Si, elle est là. So you're counteracting the negative with an affirmative. So Louise isn't here? Yes, she's here. So that's when you use the si. Now we've got a non. Now a non is a no to all parts of the question. Okay. So, non, nous sommes le 25. So what could be the question that goes with that? Well, nous sommes le 25 is referring to a date. So if you want to say we would say, wouldn't we, what's the date today? 19th. So we'd say it's the 19th. In French, you say we're the 19th. So I would say on est le 19. On est le 19, because I can use on, can't I, instead of nous. It's easier, as you hear me say quite a lot. So on est le 19. Are we the 19th? Is it the 19th? Non, nous sommes le 25. Or if you want to put it into on, non, on est le 25. Both work. So you can think of the question that goes with this answer. Non, elle est fermée. So if you want to imagine your question that would go there. So I could ask the question, elle est ouverte la banque? Elle est ouverte la banque? It has to be something feminine. So bank is feminine, c'est la banque. Or la banque, elle est ouverte? Non, elle est fermée. Okay, that's easy, isn't it? What about this one? Oui, il est en panne. So yes, it's broken. It's broken down. So what could be the question for that one? Oui, il est en panne. Could be something like, il est cassé la voiture? Sorry, elle est cassée. Elle est cassée la voiture? Is the car broken? Oh, no, it can't be that. It can't be the car because the answer is il. So, il est cassé l'ordinateur. Il est cassé l'ordinateur. Is the computer broken? Oui, il est en panne. So it's broken down. So we're agreeing there. And the last one, non, ils ne sont pas à Paris. So no, they're not in Paris. That's à Paris is in Paris. So what would the question be? Ils sont à Paris? Non, ils ne sont pas à Paris. Okay, simple, isn't it? When you see it worked out this way. I think it's quite a good way of doing it. Let's carry on with this. So we've still got the ne pas going on, but we might drop the ne sound. So, les pâtes sont cuites, mais la viande n'est pas cuite. So the pasta is cooked, it's plural in French, but the meat isn't cooked. That's the example. La salade est prête. Oh, and also we're agreeing these as well, by the way, that's why we're doing that. So, la salade est prête. So salade is feminine, so it's prête. Mais le repas, can you finish the sentence? N'est pas prêt. N'est pas prêt, because it's le repas, yeah? N'est pas prêt. Or est pas prêt, if you want to just drop the ne if you want to. Le restaurant est cher, mais la pizzeria n'est pas chère. There'll be an extra E. Paul est grande, mais son père et sa mère ne sont pas, ou sont pas, you can just drop the ne, sont pas grands. Sont pas grands. So we're just getting, aren't we? We're just getting into this habit of remembering that the pas is the important part. Poser une question négative et donner une réponse affirmative. All right, so this is using that idea that we came across before, which is the si. So, je suis surpris par le coût de la vie. By the way, I just find this book seems to predict our current times. So, je suis surpris par le coût de la vie. So, et vous n'êtes pas surpris, and you, aren't you surprised? Now, that's a common way of asking a question, by the way. That's nothing to do with reflexive or anything. This gets your attention. Et vous, get your attention, and then ask you the question. Vous n'êtes pas surpris? Aren't you surprised? So the negative's coming in the question. Si, je suis surpris, moi aussi. Yeah, I'm surprised, me too. So si, because the question was posed in a negative way, and we want to affirm something back on the si. So aren't you surprised by the, aren't you surprised? Yes, I'm surprised. Affirmative. Je suis déçu par le gouvernement. I'm disappointed by the government. Do you want to just run through for yourself what you think that question would be and the answer? Okay, so et vous? Vous n'êtes pas déçu par le gouvernement ou vous n'êtes pas déçu? Si, je suis déçu, moi aussi. And that's what you got. Je suis agacé par les médias. I'm annoyed with the media. Over to you. Et vous, vous n'êtes pas agacé par les médias? Bah si. There'll be a little bit of bar in there as well, yeah? Bah si, je suis agacé, moi aussi. And the last one then, so je suis inquiet pour l'avenir. I'm worried about the future. Okay, et vous, vous n'êtes pas inquiet? Si, je suis inquiet, moi aussi. And then this last bit just sort of like shows you just, I think it's quite nice examples these. So this is sort of like everyday conversation, I think. Because, you know, sometimes we get a bit tangled up thinking, oh, you know, it's going to be so complicated. It doesn't have to be. So, je suis trop grosse, Paul. I'm too fat, Paul. Mais non, tu n'es pas trop grosse. Or tu es pas grosse. We want to take out the ne. Tu es pas trop grosse. No, you're not too fat. Mon nez. Mon nez est trop long. And then the answer would be, mais non, ton nez n'est pas trop long. Mes cheveux sont horribles. Notice that hair is plural. Mes cheveux sont horribles. Mais non, tes cheveux ne sont pas horribles. Sont pas horribles. And the last one then. Ah, je suis trop petite. Over to you. Mais non, tu n'es pas trop petite. Voilà, voilà. So revision probably, but it's good, isn't it, to go back over those things. Or, you know, for some people, this is all new territory. Good. Thank you very much for coming. Hope I'm going to see you a bit later. I think in this evening's when we're going to have a look at negation, we're going to look at other kinds. So plus and rien, jamais, and that sort of thing. Lovely. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you very much. Bientôt. Au revoir.